What's going on YouTube? It's your buddy Will from the What's Up in the Sky 37 channel. We're online at www.whatsupinthesky.com. Just sent over from my buddy Darrell. He's one of Darrell Goat. He's one of the subscribers here on my channel, and he's always sending me over some good stuff. And this is from Soul 507. So this is a brand new, right off the rover. Pretty neat picture he sent over. And the more I look at it, the more I see some anomalies in it. Up here is where you get it. Don't worry. Check below. I always leave the links in the description. That's one thing about my channel. I'm not, I always have that below so you can take a look at it. And we've got a lot to take a look at. Perfect shapes in here that look to be shaped off, all sorts of good stuff. And what I've done is I've loaded it up into Photoshop, and you can see it's the same picture. Okay. A lot of people hear Photoshop or see Photoshop and they freak out, and then they automatically say fake or fake. Look, this is the NASA page right here where you get it from, and we could even take it as far as, let's go, just real briefly just to show you that it is on that page. Take it all the way over to 507. This is the 3-back. We'll go on down to this is what's called let's see here, where are you? Come on down. It's called the mass cam. And there it is right there on the mass cam. Same picture that we've been seeing. And there it is. You can see the shapes in it. And there it is. So I didn't fake this. Just because it's Photoshop doesn't mean it's fake. Now what I do is I always pull this up and I go to auto color. This balances it out. I think it makes it look more like Earth. I think they add that color to it to kind of blend it in and mix our eyes up. That orangey type brownish color that always comes back from Mars, and it always comes back a little bit different depending on the rover, where the rovers are and stuff, but it's always there. And like I said, this is kind of the equivalent of white balancing it, what NASA does a lot. But let's see where we could even start on this one. It's so interesting. There's so much good stuff. Obviously there's this what looks to be a perfect cube here, with perfect angles. I mean, that's pretty interesting right off the bat. Look at that. Seems to be blocked out. I'm sure, like I said, my buddy Darrell sent this over. This looks to be, just perfectly cut up. Mars looks like a junkyard. Basically, something happened here. It looks like one of our like megalithic sites, or maybe a junkyard. That's my buddy Terry from Paris calls it the junkyard, Uncle Jake's junkyard, and it sure does look like a junkyard. The more and more stuff you see here, it looks like parts for random structures. Looks like cutout stuff. It looks like they're shaving on some of these rocks. See how intricate like the actual carving of the shape is. It's been worked up. Down here you've got another piece that looks like it's been worked. So let's go through here. Like I said, I'll start down here and go through. I will go briefly through it each way and see if we can't find out, look at some of the shapes. And I love 90-degree angles. And I know 90-degree angles doesn't mean man-made, doesn't mean Martian-made. And all, nature can produce them. But when you see so many different shapes that look to be, shaped or have the touch of humans, if you think this is something that's just, random, I beg of you to go outside and take some pictures of just some rocky areas, and then come back and see how much looks like this. Go to nature. I do it a lot. I try to make pictures that look like Mars, and it's hard. So here we seem to have something that's shaped. It could be a rock, but what's really interesting in it is right here what's in it. See what seems to be two discs, one right here. Let me blow it up a little bit. There's one right here and then another one right here, and they're really pixelated, so it's kind of hard to pull them out, but this one seems to have little circles in the middle of it. And like I said, it just seems to be destroyed. Like everything's been through some sort of cataclysm and destroyed everything. Look at this here. It looks like something that's just been shelled off the rock, and looks to be cut into some pattern. You can see it looks flat because under it looks like it's got the. It looks like it would be flat. That's what it looks like from the top. That it would be flat right under it, and it's most likely, since you can see a shadow under it, it's probably thin as well. Now this up here has the perfect shape. Look at this, 90 degrees. That looks like a block, and you can even see it looks like where it's been cracked here and then cracked in the back. You can see it's been chipped off of something and probably moved here through some cataclysm. Who knows what happened? If something hit it, it was maybe they knew it was coming. Maybe they didn't. But I know a lot of us, even the old President Bush, say we need to go to Mars and figure out what could have happened there to it. They're giving it that stigma of the planet had something happen to it, which looks like it had something impact it. Some major geological movement, something like that. Look at these things, just interesting shapes. This seems to be perfect on both sides. almost like a pattern that's cut out. And like if you cut it straight down the middle here, you could fold it up into each other and they would match. And if let's take a look at this here. This interests me as well. First, you've got something that looks like a cylinder coming off here perfectly, but this seems to be something that's been cut, and then here seems to have a pattern in it. So let's see if we can't do just some adjusting to this picture real fast. Adjustments, let's see, exposure. Let's do that because we can move the gamma up a little bit. Make it a little bit darker, and then maybe, oops, move the exposure down, and then play with the offset, maybe to bring it out just a tad. Okay, see how it's kind of pulled out a little bit now? Let's see if we can, what happens when you mess with the gamma. Okay, it's, oops, sorry about that. Hope that didn't kill your ears, but it's real dark now, and you can see where it's pulled out a lot of stuff in this picture. See how it's carved in there, and it's got two, what seem to be raised up parts to it, and maybe three, 1, 2, 3 balls there. Let's see. Let me go ahead and we'll cancel that and bring it back out. And like so much you can't see just by moving the exposure around on these pictures. And you'll notice that even that's the same too when you just mess with your, photographers out there. They know how to mess with the exposure and the gamma and stuff and all that to make the pictures really bright and pop out. Especially if you got a really good camera. One thing about these Curiosity Rover is the pictures are starting to get very pixelated that are coming back. They're definitely not as sharp as they were. I don't know if that's just from degradation or maybe maybe they're uh, maybe they're hiding a little bit of something from us. They don't want to see it in the high resolution, but I am sure these pictures come down in much higher resolution than this. So let's take a look here. What's this going on here? Let me back this out. They look like fingers coming off of this one rock. Just very interesting. And this is the bottom of the Gale crater, and they're saying this was probably a big lake or something, big riverbed where they found over there at Yellowknife. So everything's probably been touched. This probably explain why it's, all the rubble is everywhere because it looks like it's just been tossed around by water, tossed around by something that could move these heavy rocks and the soil as well and just bury this stuff this deep down into it. I'm excited about this, Darrell. This was a good catch there. There wasn't much on that except for that one mass cam shot. And this one to me, like I said, this looks to me just like a perfect angle. It almost looks like it just has soot and stuff built up inside of it. It almost kind of looks to me like the blur tool's been used right here. Look right there. See how there's no pixelation in that? Like something was blurred off of that. Like maybe the reason that's there only one there from the mass cam that day, maybe this was the only one that they wanted to mess with. But look at that. See how when you move on in, everything else is real pixelated except for this one spot. It looks like they just took that blur tool and just went pop and hit it once. It's even circular. So look at that, a triangular piece with like a circle up at the top. This one to me, like I said, this right here, let's move the gamma around on this and see if this pops out. This looks to be something that's carved in there as well. Where do we have that? Let's see. We want to go to image, adjustment, exposure. Let's move the gamma on up. Move the exposure down. That one doesn't pop as much, but let's see here. All right, let me back out there. Either way, that looks like it was chopped off on something. Pretty cool. Up here definitely looks like a piece of something, like a material, and it's right above this too. Like I said, this looks just cool to me right here. It looks like like if you would paint this, it could be like a picture of like a captain. You could take the captain hat there. There's the nose, the mouth. You could put the eyeball in right here where it actually looks like there might be an eyeball, but that's just most likely pixelation. When you blow it up, stuff looks circular sometimes. So. And I know Darrell saw some more stuff on this picture. Like I said, it just goes on and on. Look up here. Let's check out this corner of it. I didn't look up here too much. We haven't had one of these videos where we went exploring in a while. So like I said, this has probably already gone pretty long. Let's see. I paused it once already. We're already 9:11. We're already 9 minutes 11 seconds in. So let's see. Look at that. That's kind of rounded off there. Just interesting looking rocks if they are. I forgot about this right here too. Look at this. This seems to be some sort of broken down box contraptions at perfect 90-degree angles. Not much I can give to that. All right, so let's look down here too. Look at this kind of circled seem these boxes. They seem not boxes. They just seem to look like some sort of structure that's just been buried in the mud there. I know I'm missing stuff I saw earlier. More of this, like the one down there at the bottom, shaped out, kind of looks like it's part of a tapestry or something that could have gone on a wall. So you could have painted the other one and made it look like a captain's hat. That one's just pretty interesting as well. We looked at that earlier. Like I said, I would love to fold that one in half. More interesting looking rocks here that look to be formed or shaped, whether it was done by the water or by hand. A lot of these look like they were part of buildings or something. You know, they're part of something ordinate, ornate, however you say that. More triangle looks. And you figure you'd get a lot of the triangles and a lot of the if there was a lot of buildings that have been broken up. Like if you look at the Pumpkin pictures from Earth, you can see that in a lot of them. When you have a block that breaks up, you know, and it had the corner was, let me see, pull that one back up here. It looked almost perfect. Right here, you'd get these triangles because if it's a perfect block, and it gets cut, you're going to cut it into a triangle usually. One of the corners is going to be used, and you're going to have one cut across it. And see here, this one's a lot more straighter than here that seemed to have going on a curve. And this is interesting, just pulling out of the dirt here. Looks like the one end of a dog bone. So the dogs up there, the Mars dogs. I know that's a website. Actually, the guy runs that. It's pretty cool. Check that out. I think it's Mars Dogs or something like that.com. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Like I said, all I do is I bring it to your attention. I got a good subscriber that saw this really quickly and said, "Hey, this doesn't look right," or either way, it looks cool. Looks like there's a lot of symmetry and a lot of everything, especially when it comes to these perfect curves, and it looks like it's been worked by hand and brought down and curved again, almost like a shield, something along those lines. And a lot of those just angles in this wherever we are here. Um, 507 saw. And once again, just to show you that this is definitely, let's go ahead and we'll revert back to what we had just to show you this is definitely the picture that came from NASA. I did not put any of this stuff in. This little guy right here, the cube, did not come from me. I always get blamed for it. There's the picture right on the website. And if we hit back, it'll show you once again. There it is on the website. So what's up, guys? What's up in the sky 37? Hit like. That helps me out. Comment. What do you think about this? Let Darrell know. What do you know, did he come up with something good here? I'm thinking he got a little home run. This is an interesting spot. I'm interested to see what else is what's beyond this. I know we're supposedly on the way to Mount Sharp, so we'll be getting to the ruins here soon. Much love, guys. 12 minutes in. Took a little bit longer. What's up in the sky video for you. Peace.